Good, John. It is great to have you with us today. You wrote a piece about this, and a lot of this movement, as we've seen over the last 18 months, has been coming increasingly from retail investors.
That's right. Retail investors have definitely driven the surge, especially when it comes to options trading, which is kind of surprising because these are risky trades, right? You can definitely double, triple, quadruple your money through the options market, but it comes with significant risks. But retail investors have flocked to this market, especially bullish call options, to play the momentum in the stock market higher and higher and higher.
Right. And if you got into the market over the last 18 months, it's only gone in one direction. But lay out some of those risks, because as we talk about this options trading, volatility on the upside, but also certainly volatility on the downside, which is increasingly important as we talk about potentially raising rates next year.
That's right. And, you know, when I speak to individual investors, institutional investors, especially the institutional investors, do highlight that, you know, this options trading, it can drive a lot of the momentum, and it can kind of exacerbate these moves both higher and lower. And we've seen that over the past year where, you know, the stock market has been pretty calm. It's been on a record run. But underneath that, we're seeing these incredibly violent moves. We're seeing a $1 trillion company like Tesla jump 10% in a day. And of course, these really sharp post-earnings moves.
Gunjan, we usually try not to bore our viewers with all sorts of intricate Wall Street lingo, but assuming that one day we're going to walk into the office and read about gamma exposure, right? Is there an easy way to help viewers understand what that means?
So basically, if I'm a retail investor, I'm buying Tesla stock, there's a market maker on the other side of that trade that's selling me that option, and they have to hedge their exposure in the stock market by buying or selling shares. And that's what traders say really exacerbates this volatility, their hedging activity on the other side of the retail trades. And, you know, anytime you see a big stock move, it's not necessarily the options activity, but the options are playing a bigger role than they were in the past. Activity has just shattered record after record this year.
Gunjan, so what are people saying about what might happen this time if we hit a real pothole in the market, given all this options activity? I mean, for now, stocks are high. There's money to be made someplace if you lose money someplace else. But, I mean, if everything goes down, does it go down harder?
That's what they're saying. They're saying it can exacerbate a reversal, right? Because what we see is people pile into these very crowded trades. In October, around 50% of all options activity was in two stocks, Amazon and Tesla. So people are piling into the same things that have worked over the past year, and that can exacerbate a swoon in the other direction.
Yeah, Gunjan, we've spent a lot of time also talking about the role of these newer platforms like Robinhood and the role that they're playing in perhaps gamifying some of these trades and options trading. And we know that SEC Chair Gary Gensler has his eye. At the same time, it hasn't really slowed down. What do you think? Do you think that there's going to be more scrutiny? What happens to the likes of Robinhood and others if the market does turn and a lot of retail investors are left holding the bag?
Look, it certainly seems like it is already under scrutiny. You know, I recently wrote about how payment for order flow has kind of fueled this boom in retail trading that we've seen over the past year, and regulators do seem to be looking at that. What I found striking, I spoke to a 51-year-old woman for an article this week, and she started trading options last year as kind of a side gig, and she's doing these tech momentum-driven trades, and I was just struck by, you know, how people are just so keen to jump into the market, take advice from TikTok, take advice from Discord, and they've learned something totally new over the past year, and it doesn't seem like their activity has been slowing down at all.